The Detroit Tigers offense is back. All back to all singles. Drop this one 5-2 to the Boston Red Sox today on Locked On Tigers.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Thank you for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, so the Detroit Tigers dropped this one, as we said in the cold open, 5-2 to the Boston Red Sox in Fenway. Yeah. So this was very much a same old, like reverting back to the norm. Only time will tell whether this game is the pump fake, right? And Riley Green gets called up and the offense starts hitting, and the rest of the year is going to be a lot more fun, or whether the two games on Saturday and Sunday were the pump fake. And based on sample size, doesn't take a genius to figure out which one's way more likely, based on some sample size. You know what I'm saying? I'll say the 100 games in which the offense could not hit an extra base hit. I mean, this is Fenway Park, man. This is double city. This is double and home run city. I mean, just hit a pop fly to left field. It's either a home or a double, like guaranteed. Golly. Went back right to how we've always been. We actually out-hit the Red Sox in this game. But let's take a look at the difference, okay? Let's take a look at the difference. So we out-hit the Sox. It's the Red Sox are the Sox, by the way, just for the record. The Boston Red Sox are the Sox. The Chicago White Sox are the Chicago White Sox. The Red Sox are the Sox. That's, you know what I'm saying. So let's just compare and contrast. Okay, the Detroit Tigers get 10 hits in this one, 1 walk. It was Riley Green. 5 walks in his first 3 career games. I'm pretty sure Javi has 10 on the year, so that's sad but also cool. And the Boston Red Sox have 9 hits and 2 walks. So both of us have 11 base runners. Exactly. They score 2. We score 2. They score 5. Extra base hits. They have 4 doubles in this game. 4 doubles. An error by our center fielder helped. That wasn't great, right? Probably should be one that Riley Green brings in. He covered a lot of ground to get there, which was nice. And then just tried to catch it with his hand instead of his glove for some reason. Not that doesn't seem like it's really something that will be sustainable. That doesn't really feel like his error numbers have not been high anywhere he's played his entire life. I'm not worried about it, but it was definitely a head scratcher. Definitely a head scratcher. So 4 doubles to our 2 doubles. There you go. And the even crazier part is that leadoff hitters in an inning. It felt like, especially when Fiedo was on the bump, man, every single leadoff hitter got on base. I mean, golly, Duran looked like he was Ricky Henderson. I mean, was like the greatest leadoff hitter of all time in this game. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, and a walk. And he's having a pretty solid season, but golly, I mean, that was that guy was a menace. And like the biggest thing, the Boston Red Sox, that is a damn good lineup, man. That is a damn good lineup. Duran, Devers, Martinez, Bogarts, Doogie, Story. That is a lineup. That is a top 6. That is a lethal top 6. And then like Frenchie Cordero's super fun and pretty exciting. Um, Jackie Bradley Jr. at Fenway Park is Barry Bonds. It's just on the road. He's, Ryan Rayburn. So like it's that lineup is so legit, and it really is just for them going to come down to pitching. And when you play a team like the Tigers, that's not a great matchup, right? That's not a great matchup. The Detroit Tigers need to go up against a team that maybe has weak pitching is good. The fact that their offense is good is not good. We need a team that has really really brutal pitching and also has a weak offense. That's encouraging. You need to play a team that's bad, basically. No, but for real, like the Red Sox can outscore you, and they are set up in a way where they can afford to give up 3, 4, 5 runs and still outscore you when everybody's on. I mean, the heart of that lineup. Rafi Devers is having a breakout to his already fantastic career. Like, it's not a breakout's probably not the right word, but taking an ascending higher, like taking another step forward into being one of the premier hitters on the planet. Then you have JD Martinez, who we all know and love very, very well, is a phenomenal hitter, obviously. Xander Bogaerts, right? Searching for a bag himself, and with all the drama with Story and I'm not going to move from shortstop and everything. The reason he's going to get paid the big bucks and gets paid the big bucks is because of what he does at the plate. So like that 2, 3, and 4, the OPSs of their 2, 3, and 4, 988 for Rafi, 944 for JD, 882 for Bogaerts. You have to be able to put up runs if you want to beat the Boston Red Sox in Fenway Park. And this team just went right back to how they've been before Riley Green got called up. And again, who knows? Maybe they do go on and they do bounce back the next 2 games and put up some run totals like they did in the first 2 games. But again, based on sample size and based on what we have seen a majority of this season, I certainly wouldn't hold my breath. I really wouldn't. So again, same old story. 11 base runners and only 2 runs is really brutal. Just really bad with runners in scoring position. A lot of rallies with 2 outs, which is unbelievably frustrating as well, because you can't have a sac fly with 2 outs. You can't hit a ground ball to the right side and score a runner from third. There's so much stuff. Getting 2 hits with 2 outs that are both singles. Yeah, that's asking for a lot to get 3, 4 consecutive hits with 2 outs in the inning. That only happens against the Tigers, not for the Tigers. So just really honestly a frustrating game, because the opposition on the bump really until the back part of the game, like Schreiber, we'll talk about him. That's just absolutely ridiculous. But Tanner Houck has filthy, filthy stuff. Schreiber's been one of the best relievers in baseball this year. If you remember that name, hate to break it to you, he left Detroit and became like prime Mariano Rivera. So that, going up against those guys at the end is somewhat excusable. And like their starters ERA dropped like an entire run in this one because and he still gave up 2 runs. Like, it wasn't even like a lethal performance or anything, but just really, really, yeah, very frustrating to kind of just revert back. We had an exciting weekend, and then now we're right back where we were. So not unforeseen, not super surprising. I'm not here shocked by it by any stretch of the imagination. We said on yesterday, even within all the excitement, I reiterated multiple times, it is very possible that this is just a flash in the pan and we go right back to how we were for the rest of the year. But doesn't make it any less frustrating. Okay, we'll get into Fiedo. I do want to talk about John Schreiber, honestly, because that's a crazy, crazy story that I really want to highlight. But we'll talk about the rest of the game and everything. First, though, I got to tell y'all about RockAuto.com. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts that you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders parts on their computer that their warehouse happens to carry. You have computers, you have access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why would you choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more from the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? It just doesn't make sense. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer. So go explore their easy-to-use website today. Find the solution for your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com, see all the parts available for your car or truck, and write Locked On in the How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need at rockauto.com. All right, everybody. We are back here for segment 2 at Locked On Tigers. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Okay, let's get into what do we want to get into? I kind of just want to talk about, well, we should talk about Fiedo first. We'll save Schreiber and kind of the miscellaneous stuff for the end. So Alex Fiedo pitches in this one. Look, it was not a super great performance. He really, the biggest thing is he just gave up a ton of hard contact. He was getting hit all over the yard pretty darn hard. A 93 mile an hour average exit velocity, which is high for sure. He maxed out at 118. I'm pretty sure Franchi Cordero had a 118 mile an hour single at one point in this game. So definitely got hit really hard. But the biggest thing, uh, the biggest, I don't even know what I was trying to say there. The four seam fastball is probably the most, I don't know if alarming is probably way too dramatic of a word, but the four seam fastball is definitely the thing to take a look at here because the average exit velocity on the four seam fastball, the average exit velocity on his four seamer in this game was 103.5 miles an hour. 103.4 to be exactly. To be exact. English. Golly, I'm a writer. That is unbelievably high. 7 balls put in play, fouled off 9 times. A CSW percentage of his four seam of 20%. That is low. That's very low. He had 3 whiffs on it and only 6 called strikes. So he threw the four seamer 45 times, only 9 times in the entire outing, 93 total pitch count. Only 9 times was his four seam fastball either a called strike or a swinging miss strike. Really, really brutal. So that is the most alarming thing is just that. And it, it makes sense. Like, dare I say, this is a rookie pitcher who mainly relies on 2 pitches. And the Boston Red Sox have some of the best fastball hitters on the planet from 1 through 6, 2 through 5, especially 2 through 4, I guess, especially. So it's not exactly like, oh, this is super shocking, right? Not a very shocking development that Fiedo would have trouble against this team, period. Just because of where he's at in his career, but B, with the fastball specifically. And the slider was still the best pitch, as it consistently has been his entire collegiate and professional career. CSW percentage of 28%, called strikes plus whiffs, CSW. Some people keep asking me about that almost every show, so I just want to keep reiterating. Pretty fun stat. Definitely take a look into it if you're trying to get into pitching statistics. 4 whiffs, the most whiffs of any pitch. Only had 7 on the night, right? Pretty low total. 7 whiffs on 93 pitches. He would only go 4 1/3. Yeah, 4 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Again, the Riley Green error in center field, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Just a really tough lineup to maneuver in, and I don't want people to forget the weight that has been put on all of these dudes' shoulders that are coming in and replacing the actual rotation that's hurt. Like, least we forget we have 4 starting pitchers all hurt at the same time. And one of them is not coming back this year. One of them is done for the entire season. One of them, Pineda just started throwing again, last week? So that's a good sign. Could be getting him back relatively soon. Erod, we haven't gotten an update on. He's just not with the organization at all at the moment. And then who am I forgetting? Scooble, and then Matt Manning. We haven't had an update on Matt Manning in a pretty long time either. No update on whether he's throwing, where he's at in his rehab or anything, but he was coming back and then got shut down again. So the pitching situation is not changing. It's not going anywhere. This is a problem that will probably persist through game 162. And more importantly, we have to remember that while Chris Fetter is for my money probably the best in the world at his job, if not one of the best in the world at his job, we have to remember that these are still Alex Fiedo on opening day was in high single A. He was in A plus ball on opening day. So we got to remember what we're working with here, and just because for a little bit there he was way above expectations doesn't mean that the new expectations are up there. Still a rookie that started off the season in A ball. So we'll see going forward. Like I said, he's not going anywhere. It's not changing, but that's what we got to deal with. That only 5 changeups in this game. I think that personally, I would have liked to see the changeup thrown a little bit more. It wasn't, if you don't have a feel for it, you don't have a feel for it. I mean, he threw it 5 times. It was never, the bat never touched it, but it was also only called for a strike once and no whiffs on it. I mean, if you don't have a feel for it, you don't have a feel for it. Obviously, he knows what he's feeling on the mound better than I do watching from my couch. But, I mean, 93 pitches, 45 four seam, 43 slider, 5 changeup. The changeup has looked good at the major league level, and they were crushing your fastball, dog. They were crushing your fastball, not fooling anybody. So in a perfect world, I would have liked to see that more, but maybe you just don't have a feel for a pitch, and that's just all it is. And can't really blame a dude for that. So, okay, we'll get into the bullpen and John Schreiber, because I really want to talk about Schreiber a little bit. First, though, got to tell y'all about our friends over at Built Bar. You know how they're always coming out with amazing flavors and all that. Well, this time they've truly outdone themselves, because they're introducing a mud pie flavor. They have a mud pie bar and a mud pie puff. They sent all the hosts them, so we knew what they were selling, and they're unbelievable. Both of them, honestly, unbelievable. The puff and the bar itself, absolutely phenomenal. It's all 100% real chocolate. It's topped with cookies and cream. You have to try it. Seriously, you have to. And you also need to hurry, because the Mud Pie Bar and Mud Pie Puff are only available for a limited time. So visit built.com to taste the deliciousness for yourself. If you're still not convinced, we've saved the best for last. It's actually good for you. This is not just a candy bar. This is actually really, really good for you. And that's the great thing about Built. Amazing taste, amazing flavor, and yet still great stats or whatever on the back, right? I call them stats. That's the sports nerd in me, but great. They're just amazing. Covered in 100% real chocolate, like I said, healthy and tasty. They're made with protein. Your body absorbs it more efficiently. It provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. So go to built.com right now. Use code LOCK15 for 15% off of your order. It's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. All right, everybody. We are back for our third and final segment here at Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me, making us your first listen every single day. We're all in this together, baby. We're all in this season together. There's nothing really else. Okay, offensive highlights. There are 2 offensive highlights that 2.5 that I want to cover. Riley Green walked again. We already talked about it. Did get a strikeout. That's like the only thing that people that were anti Riley Green were kind of pointing at when he was coming through, is that his strikeout numbers were like a little high. Personally, I'm not worried about it. That doesn't mean that, he's going to ever have an incredible K rate or K percentage. And that doesn't mean that he might have a little bit of a higher there in the first year or two of his career. But, he's so young and still developing, and his hands travel so well. I'm really not worried about it at all. So that was one. I thought he continued to look really good at the plate. That third strike call was objectively off the plate, and that one just confused me because it was off the plate, like that was a ball, um, and he missed the glove. The pitcher missed the glove pretty considerably. A lot of glove movement had to happen by the catcher, which is usually a knock against you when it comes to calling balls and strikes. It was framed terribly, like one of the worst frame jobs I've ever seen. It was horrible, um, and it was a straight fastball, and yet it was still called a ball. Whatever. But I thought he still looked really good at the plate. Javi Baez, very quietly, is on a little bit of a hit streak here. He did not strike out in this game, which has become somewhat of a rarity at this point in the season. And he's hitting the ball pretty darn hard, and still looking good in the field. Had one kind of weird like fastball, ground ball, ate him up, but still got the play at first, so it wasn't a very big deal. But goes 2 for 4 in this one, with a double, two doubles. Actually, there you go. Does that mean? Hold on. Two. Okay, so we had three doubles in this one. Javi had two. Two players hit doubles. Whatever. Going back earlier, the problem still persists. Doesn't change anything I said earlier, but I'm sure somebody has already called me out for it. I just wanted. He's quietly on a hit streak. What is that? 4 or 5 games in a row with a hit. Very quietly hitting the ball pretty hard while doing it. Something to keep an eye out for. Hopefully, it's sustainable. He's slowly moving back up in the lineup too. Hit 4th in this one, was down at 6th at one point, 7th at one point. So working his way back up. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Batting average at 200 for people that like that. Um, you know, we'll, we just need something. We just need someone hitting the ball for extra bases. We just need somebody. So that's really nice to see. And then Spencer Torkelson, ever since Riley Green got called up, he's just been killing it. And like the funny narrative is like, oh, he just needed his best friend up. I don't know how much truth that is. Baseball is, Yogi Berra quote, half mental, half physical, the other half, right? So there is I don't know if I completely buy that he just like, oh, Riley Green's here, and then he just is going to be incredible the rest of the year. But I'm sure that it is nice having someone that he can relate to, etc. Kind of in the dugout and in the clubhouse with him. I'm sure that's a little nicer, but I'm not sure that it's a direct correlation. But it did start directly after. That's pretty subjective. I'll let you have your own opinion about that. But really good to see him getting going. Regardless, the barrel control has been really, really solid lately, and his balance at the plate has also been really, really solid lately. The balance was never too terribly much of a problem regardless, but it's looked really solid the last 3 or 4 games. And like I said, the biggest thing with him is honestly just barrel control and where he's getting the barrel on, and when he's coming around on pitches and all that stuff. So really, really nice to see. Another multi-hit game for Spencer Torkelson. Hopefully he can get the ball rolling there. His OPS is almost at 600 again. And I know that's like a really sad minor victory to take, but that, if we can get back to there, we'll take it. Just want some offense on this team. The relievers that pitched in this one, Tyler Alexander gave up a couple of runs, but neither of them were credited to him because they're Alex Fiedo's runs. Joe Jimenez looked phenomenal. One of the best innings I've seen all year of Joe Jimenez. One of the best innings he's pitched in recent memory. So phenomenal. Really nice to see that. His ERA drops back below 4, which is solid. And then Will Vest with a 1-2-3 final inning in this one, 8th inning as well. But no strikeouts or anything, not too big in that department, but really, really solid outing nonetheless. Okay, I just want to talk about John Schreiber. John Schreiber is from Michigan, and he pitched for the Tigers. Was it 2020? I believe it was. So when he was a Tiger, he had a really like solid changeup. He did. He pitched for us in 2019 as well. Solid changeup, and I really liked him. I was like weird. I was weirdly kind of like, hey, this is a guy that I kind of like. I kind of like a reliever that comes out and has a really solid changeup like that. Pretty decent movement. The thing was, his fastball was not nearly fast enough to just not to justify to make people off balance with said good changeup. He then goes to Boston after 2020. We cut ties with him. He goes to Boston. In 2021, he only pitched 3 innings, gave up 1 run. And then this year, these are John Schreiber's stats. Okay. Unbelievable. 20 games. He has 20.2 innings to be exact. Okay. A 0.87 ERA in almost 21 innings. He has given up 2 earned runs on the entire season. One of them, well, he's given up 1 homer, I should say. 24 strikeouts is a 10.5 K per nine, a 2.2 walk per nine, a whip of 0.67. His hit per nine is sub 4 at the moment. His fastball was consistently at 96, 97 miles an hour in this game. In 2020, John Schreiber's fastball averaged 89.8 miles an hour, according to Cody Stavenhaven of The Athletic. Why? Why? I genuinely want to know why. How does that happen? And like, it's funny, but and like the bullpen's been pretty solid for us this year. I'm not losing sleep over the loss of John Schreiber, but also why? Why is that a thing? Why did that happen? His ERA is 0.87, right? In 2 years with the Tigers, 28 games, right? 28.2 innings. He had a 6.28 ERA. In 23.2 career innings with the Boston Red Sox, his ERA is 1.14. Why? Find out why and instill it. Figure out how that's possible to have your average fastball ball velocity go up almost 10 miles an hour at 27 years old and do that to your players. Why? How? Where? When? Remarkable. Remarkable stuff. And I love Schreiber. It was a cool story because he's from Wyandotte, and just, seeing him debut with the Tigers and everything was a super cool story. I remember his debut. I remember his first game very vividly because they made a big deal out of that, because what else did we have to talk about in 2019? It's just figure out how that's possible. Please figure out how that's possible and make sure that it doesn't keep happening. Unbelievable stuff. Okay, we'll take on the Red Sox again tomorrow. Today, as you're listening to this, obviously. And look, it's a rough game. The offense needs to wake up. The offense, not breaking news, right? Not too much new to say. The offense needs to do their jobs, and you're still in a position where you could take 2. Forever the optimist, as it's really I can't win if I do, can't win if I don't. I'm either too much of an optimist or too much of a pessimist, depends on who you ask. But we're still here. Go take tomorrow. Go take Tuesday. Set yourself up for a fun finale. I think Scooble gets the finale. Is that right? Let's find out really quickly. Scooble definitely gets one of the next 2 games. I'm pretty sure he gets the finale, which is such a cheat code. I mean, his last 2 starts haven't been great, I guess, but that's so nice. to have Scooby going on a finale day. Okay, so tomorrow, Tuesday, is Brisky versus Rich Hill. Blank Mountain, still kicking it. And then Scooble versus Michael Waka, who's had a phenomenal season for the Red Sox. That is your series finale. So there you go. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Same time, same place. You know the drill. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. Check out the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft. It's great. It really is great. So search the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft. They have over 50 insiders, Odyssey Sports experts, draft experts, Locked On NBA, big board. It's just a complete, I'm lacking the word, culmination of all the best minds available to Locked On. It really is a fun listen. The 5-episode Ultimate NBA Mock Draft is underway, so make that your second listen today. We'll be back with you tomorrow, everybody. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Stop attacking your own fan base. It's weird. We're all in the same boat. Nobody's happy. I don't know why this fan base insists on attacking and tearing down its own members. Let's go, like, I don't know. Pick a different fan base. Pick our opponent, maybe. I don't know. Just seems weird to me. I've never understood like the whole, oh well, I don't know. I disagree with you, so we're just gonna like hate each other even though we're both mad at the same thing. That's weird to me. Anyway, peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. I'll catch you tomorrow, baby. Go Tigers.